Hello everybody, welcome to the show today, guys. Trump has finally got the win he's been wanting from the courts, guys. This is a huge win. Trump now has the official rights to sue, guys. Hear me, sue the states that have been giving taxpayer money to illegals. And guess what? Pam Bondi and Trump administration have just dropped the bomb on suing every federal district judge in the state of Maryland, guys. This is insane. The first state that they're going after, which we're finally, guys, going to start getting our hard-earned money back. This is beautiful. They've been wanting this. They've been fighting this. And finally, Trump and his team have won a major court ruling. This is a huge win to sue all 15 federal judges in the first state that they're going after for using taxpayer money, federal funds to be used explicitly on illegal aliens for housing assistance, cell phones, for Medicare, healthcare, for guys, debit cards, all these things that your taxpayer dollars go into the federal government. The federal government gives the money to the states, and then they've been giving to illegal immigrants, and now Trump is suing all of them to get that money back, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. This is a huge win. All this stuff has been happening behind the scenes, but we got the receipts for you today. These dang Democrats are doing everything, guys, in their power to give non-citizens your money. And not only that, a Democrat in the Senate somehow is able to block a provision in the Trump's big beautiful bill that would defund giving illegal immigrants Medicaid to be for illegal aliens. They put a provision in there from the House to stop this. No more giving our money to illegal aliens for Medicaid. Well, guess what? This senator has just blocked that. We'll bring you the receipts in a moment, guys. But again, it just shows you where the priorities are at. Because right now, the administration dropped bombshell economic projections showing that a massive deficit reduction from tax cuts and deregulation shows that the Senate version, the new version of the big beautiful bill, is going to slash $2.3 trillion over a decade through economic growth, with a focus on Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid for citizens only. Guys, Trump is suing all the states. He's starting with Maryland. Every federal district judge has been sued. He's suing all the states to have allowed the use of federal taxpayer funds to be used on non-citizens. And he said, I want them to pay it all back, guys. Do you realize how big this is? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because we're finally getting some justice for those people that have paid into the system, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and Trump is fighting for your money. Stop giving it to people that are not citizens and give it back to the people that paid in. And that's what's happened, guys. This is so huge. Big bombshell news today. Not only that, two big things. One-time assistant to former President Biden and senior advisor to First Lady Joe Biden will be subpoenaed for testimony before the House Oversight Committee on Biden's mental decline, Representative James Comer stated. So again, more subpoenas going out. We're going to figure out the mental decline scandal. We're going to make sure that people know exactly what happened with the Democratic Party. And not only that, House Republicans have also subpoenaed, guys. We're not talking about it. Like when you get a subpoena, you either show up or you're going to jail. Like this is how big this stuff is. House Republicans have subpoenaed ActBlue officials to testify regarding potential widespread fraud on the major Democratic fundraising platform. Guys, the news is here today, and we got the news for you. This is so big, so breaking. I'm excited because, again, too, when I see that our president is pushing and fighting for us, America First policies, that means everybody wins. That's an American, and that's what I love. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Got so much breaking news today. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers, all of our viewers, guys. As you can tell, I'm excited. If you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family and hitting that subscribe button, joining our family so that we can serve you every day with the top news. Guys, I want to say thank you so much to everybody that is a member of the channel. Thank you so much for helping us give back to local charities. Remember, on the 22nd of every single month, when you're a member or you give a super chat, we take this money and we donate to a local charity live on stream. This guy right here donating thousands of dollars to a local charity with your support. That's what this channel is about. Not just bringing the truth, but giving back, guys. And we do it with full transparency live on stream. I want to say, if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button. Guys, today's a big, big show. Trump is kicking butt for the American people. Not only has Trump and General Pam Bondi have sued the first state, all 15 federal district judges, over allowing federal funds to be used on non-citizens. We have it where there has been a refocus on the big, beautiful bill to slash more spending of wasteful spending, redirect the focus to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And we also have subpoenaed not only Act Blue officials to testify before Congress, but we've also subpoenaed assistants from former President Biden and senior advisor to First Lady Joe Biden to testify before the House Oversight Committee. Justice is coming, baby. We got some crazy news for you today. Check this out.
No middle ground on illegal immigration in America anymore. And then basically the spokesman for the two sides are this guy who just won the New York Democrat mayoral primary, Zorhan Mamdani. And then you got the guy that from that video he was screaming at, Tom Homan, who revealed this morning just how crazy the opposition to actual laws are.
I don't see my family very much. My wife's living separately from me right now, mainly because I work so many hours, but mostly because of the death threats against me. She's someplace else.
Imagine living in a world where the guy threatening and encouraging lawlessness just got elected to lead his party, and the guy enforcing the law and his wife are forced to live in fear.
Guys, again, we show you the receipts because, again, what you're seeing on the screen, Tom Homan deporting all the illegals. This right here is what's happening because Trump is fed up with it. They just won the ruling from a federal judge. Now Bondi is suing every Maryland federal judge, the first state, to continue using federal dollars for illegal aliens. This is about to stop. We're finally getting the truth out there and exposing all the fraud, waste, and abuse. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
That's how crazy we've become. Let me be real clear where I stand on this in case you were wondering. If you come here or came here illegally, you should be removed or leave and not be able to come back. I don't care if you're claiming asylum or looking for a better life, or if you have a pile of anchor babies or whatever else. Your problems have become America's problems, and we are done with that. It's not cold or racist, it's reality. I care about every American before anyone from any other country, especially those who come here illegally. So, the bulk of the country agrees with me. That's why Trump won.
Yes.
I don't get to just break laws because I need or want something. So why should somebody else who I owe nothing to, you owe nothing to, why should they be able to come here and in many cases live off my tax dollar benefits? I mean, you can call me whatever you want. I don't care. I'm so over caring about this stuff. I want our schools filled with people who are supposed to be here. I want our Medicare systems to actually take care of people who pay taxes and not those who go and broke the law to get here in the first place, to get on those programs. I want our jails, which are funded by our tax dollars, to be reserved for criminals who commit crimes who are actually legally here, not filled with a bunch of people who should have never been here in the first place, burdening the system.
Guys, and you think, I'm telling you, we're showing you everything, guys. Senate parliamentarian blocks provisions in big beautiful bill to restrict Medicare funds for illegal aliens. We're trying to do the right thing. Make sure that our money is going to those that need it the most, to citizens, to American citizens. But this Democrat, Elizabeth McDonough, just literally blocked the provision to do so. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. If you appreciate this truth, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, this is huge. We are exposing the fraud, the waste, and the abuse, but we're also showing everybody is that the Democrats are always going to put the non-citizens before Americans.
But you have an entire party that embraces the exact opposite of me. congressman going down to El Salvador to have a margarita with a guy we just brought back to be prosecuted for human trafficking. And then after that, all the media still, they know they're on the wrong side of this, so still selling some sob story.
I remember the first day I read about the deportations to El Salvador of the alleged Tren de Aragua members for whom no evidence was ever presented that they had anything to do with Tren de Aragua. And I remember saying to Mike, like, I wish I didn't feel so gutted, and I wish I could stop thinking about these guys being scared in El Salvador. And I saw the paid ads that Homeland Security was doing in front of the deportees who were now prisoners at CCOT, and I was gutted.
Okay, Nicole, like, I don't see any illegals in the background of that shot in your home. I am sure you stay up all night with a glass of rosé in your high-rise apartment or nice home or wherever you live, and I try to pull at the heartstrings of people. Like, you just straight up lie. Like, I don't know, 15 or so publications published this garbage or some variation of this headline. Father of Marines brutally beaten by ICE. Yeah? Oh, really? What actually happened there? That father was in the country illegally, made an attempt to evade arrest, and then he was fighting agents with a weed whacker when they came to get him. I mean, they conveniently left that part out. Another thing they left out, they tried to tell the world that this guy was, this guy was deported because he had a J.D. Vance meme on his phone. What? Turns out he was alleged at this point to be carting in drugs. And then,
guys, and I show you this because, again, too, it always goes back to where the problem begins. But right now, they did a poll, important for Congress and Justice Department to investigate Biden advisors using the auto pin. Yes, out of registered voters, 52% said we need to investigate. 50% said making key decisions. And check this out, that 55% of registered voters that they did the poll on said we don't need to worry about investigating the cover-up decline. We are seriously seeing that the propaganda is working, guys. When these left-wing news outlets can show out and show that, oh my goodness, that these declines, the auto pin, the wasteful money on illegal aliens is all justified, and we got Americans that can't get taken care of. We have Americans that can't even afford to pay the rent. Give me a break. We need justice for Americans, our money to go to true Americans, and we need to make sure that we hold them accountable. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Those headlines came out, the same people rushed to say, well, it's an isolated incident. Is it? Because I'm pretty sure we see this every day. I'm also pretty sure that the vice mayor in an LA county just phoned a friend.
I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you. It's everyone else who's not about the gang life that's out there protesting and speaking up. When the big gang guns come in, nothing but like quiet, and we're out here, the regular ones that have never been jumped in, out here calling things out, trying to organize people, trying to do the thing.
This is a member of the LA local government calling for gang members to basically get into gunfights with federal agents. I'm sorry, what? I mean, look at who she's aligning with. A quick search will show you that 18th Street Gang is a transnational criminal organization headquartered out of LA. And Florencia 13, the other gang member she was calling on, these guys have their members in jail for any number of things. Drug trafficking, extortion, murder, assault, robbery, auto theft, running counterfeit document mills. You wonder why Trump called in the National Guard. I would have called in the Air Force with the same bombers we just flew over Iran. Because some in the local governments appear to be on the same team as gangs. And all the libs whining, oh, it's about family separation. Shut up. This is a policy that Barack Obama started, by the way, with people being put in cages that Barack Obama built. Despite AOC's fake crying outside of an immigration facility, you know the real reality of the very Democrats screaming about children? I mean, do you know what their policies did?
There was like 300,000 missing children under the last administration. We found thousands of them. We found some in sex trafficking. I mean, I think 2 weeks ago, we rescued a 14-year-old that was already pregnant, living with adult men.
14 with adult men. And some of those other children had addresses registered when they were released to like random adults at strip clubs, parking lots, shipping containers. One of those types of locations had 42 kids registered to it as their last known address. So,
guys, this is again too, this is what gets me. I hope it gets you too. This is why the Democrats want the illegals. They don't care about the people. They care about their votes. They care about staying in power, and they care about keeping their greedy money. Look at this. 449,000 registered voters couldn't perform jury duty because they weren't citizens, but they were registered voters, guys. Out of Snopes, guys. This was fact checked. Like, this stuff has been happening for a long time. And people want to argue and say that, no, this illegals aren't involved, they're not registered. No, yes, they are. And the problem is that you have Democrats that are consistently fighting to step over Americans to go for these illegal aliens and give them benefits. And that's why Pam Bondi and Trump are finally suing. The first state is Maryland, and they're suing all 15 federal judges for giving Americans money, taxpayer money, federal government money to non-citizens, illegals for housing, healthcare, cell phones, internet, SNAP, food, you name it, guys. It's finally happening. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Want to give some love to B1 Sly One for the super chat. Let's go. Lay Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Said Trumpaholic girl right here. I love it. Gregosaurus, thank you for gifting a TrueLife News membership. If you got a TrueLife News membership from Greg, show some love in the chat. Andy, thank you so much for the super chat. Said we had the first woman president working in the shadows without one single vote, and people are not revolting against this. 100%. We bring you the receipts, guys. Y'all show Andy some love in the chat, because I'm telling you this. This lady right here, since Andy already brought it up, she was given full authority. She doesn't know by whom, but yet she executed this at the highest level of former Biden aide Neera Tanden. Does not know who ordered the president's auto pin signatures. She doesn't know who it was, but she was in charge of it. Do you realize, like, this is the most corrupt thing we could ever show you on this channel, guys, is that a former Biden aide who had full control for 20 months over the Biden, she said this under oath, she was executing it under her own regime, as well as other people that she had no clue who was actually ordering the executive orders through the auto pin. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because I'm telling you, it gets even crazier.
Spare me your crocodile tears about how you care about children, libs. Your party did this. You did nothing about it. Oh, speaking of crocodiles, too, well, actually, alligators. Florida is leading the way, proposing a solution to this and a place to put these people. Look, I realize that this is like a numerical problem, like how do you detain or transfer or remove 20 million people? Well, the Florida AG came up with an idea. Alligator Alcatraz. We talked about it last week, but now the DHS has approved this. This is a massive abandoned runway compound in the middle of the Everglades where they can just plop people down and leave them there. It's not going to cost that much to outfit, and it's really hard to escape from. Florida's plan is to essentially make the largest illegal holding facility in an area that's surrounded by alligators in chest-deep swamp. I mean, great. You want to break into our country? That's where you go. If you don't like it, we've given you the last 5 months to self-deport. We even offered you $1,000 to leave. You didn't take it? Whoops. Now you're going to a hot and humid version of Alcatraz in Florida with mosquitoes so big that they will literally carry you away. That's what if you can survive a hurricane season. And if you try to escape, you got Burmese pythons that someone flushed down their toilet like 10 years ago. They're 15 feet long because of eating people's pets wrapped around your neck, swimming in between alligators. Good luck. I think self-deportation.
Guys, is this not crazy? An alligator Alcatraz has been created to, hey, we're trying to clean up America. Let me know your thoughts. Are you in favor of the alligator Alcatraz? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you don't mind, guys, doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button. This is huge right here, guys, because we're digging deeper. We're bringing the receipts. Representative Comer, who is the chairman over the House Oversight Committee, has just subpoenaed another Biden aide. This was a former assistant to President Biden and senior advisor to First Lady Jill Biden, who is now going to testify over Biden's mental decline. And everything that we're hearing, guys, it is bad. It is so bad that Representative Comer said that they can reverse all the spending that was done because there's no evidence that has been shown thus far that Biden was actually executing all the executive orders by his own process, like by his own action. It was all done by other people without his consent. We had a shadow government. We had a puppet for a president, guys, and it is right here. We're seeing it right before our eyes. I want to say thank you so much, Greg, for the super chat. Let's go. Trump, he said, assort out the UK as well as our deep state cronies. Thank you so much, Fred Samuel, for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Fred and Greg some love in the chat, guys. I love it. Because, again, what you're hearing next is we're bringing the people that are in the Senate hearing exactly what's going on because this is what is the truth, guys. Stuff that you don't normally see on mainstream. Check this out.
Before you came to the U.S. Senate, you were one of the toughest attorney generals in the country. What is your sense, because I know the president talks to you a lot about this, what is your sense of these judges, and you're seeing these rulings, we got the deportations, and then you get orders from the Supreme Court, people are not getting out. I mean, they talk about the rule of law. I've never seen anything like this. Is part of the judiciary in active revolt against not just the rule of law, but also Article 2 of the Constitution, sir?
Yeah, I think so. And you saw, I think, the most glaring example yet. It's interesting. Actually, my Solicitor General, John Sauer, became the Solicitor General of the United States. And then the first 4 district court judges out of the gate were in my AG's office. So we're really proud of what the imprint Missouri's had on kind of fighting for the rule of law. We pushed back against the vaccine mandates in one. We had the Missouri versus Biden. Of course, the censorship case, we brought that. We had the student loan debt forgiveness case. We won at the Supreme Court. So really proud of that. We want to hold that. And what you see now is this judge in Massachusetts just yesterday defying the Supreme Court order. I mean, these are rapists and murderers. And I think that's sort of the next frontier. This is outside the bounds of any reasonable discussion, right? But I think here, my take on it, Steve, ultimately is, as you saw with that decision from the Supreme Court and others, these leftist district court judges, these real activist judges, they kind of have their like Boasberg, right? They have their 15 minutes of fame. But as they make their way up the court system and ultimately the Supreme Court, I think President Trump is by and large going to be successful with his agenda because, of course, the president, who's the only person elected by the entire country, the head basically of the Article 2 branch, can make decisions on personnel and programming. He has immense authority, of course, under the Alien Enemies Act. I have legislation to expand the expedited removal provisions of the 1990s reform that allowed him to remove people quicker. So all of these things as they play out, even though there's, I think, a lot of kicking and screaming, by and large, he's going to be pretty successful. But it is, I think you're seeing sort of the last gasp of leftism as it made its way under the Article 3 branch. But I think the law's on our side. So
let's go, baby.
We got about 30 seconds.
And this is huge, guys. I'm telling you, right here, General Pam Bondi has taken the rare step of suing all 15 federal district judges in Maryland. They just won a case, guys, where the Trump administration can officially sue states now for trying to pause deportations, for trying to challenge the detention of illegal aliens, for the use of taxpayer money, federal taxpayer funds on illegal aliens in terms of housing, Medicare, SNAP, food stamps, all this stuff. We're finally getting to some real lawsuits, guys. This is what I love. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is what we expected out of Pam Bondi, and I'm so happy this dropped this morning, guys, and this is what we voted for. We want to see that people are going to be held accountable for doing, just basically breaking the federal law to help out the illegal aliens.
Seconds. Will the president be signing the big, beautiful bill on the 4th of July on his desk, or we still got a ways to go, some work in the Senate to do?
There's still some work in the Senate, but I'm still hopeful. I think we'll get there. But yeah, we're working through all that right now.
Senator Schmidt, where do people, I know you've got a lot of thoughts on this, on burden sharing and being an ally. What do you take away from President Trump's trip to the Netherlands for the 2-day summit, sir?
Well, Steve, it's great to be with you, by the way. I think it's pretty remarkable that, I consider myself a realist, right? And I think you view the world similarly. And it's really kind of coming of age now. We're moving away from this sort of neoliberal, this neoconservative, this kind of Wilsonian view of the world where so many of the foreign policy blob in this town in permanent Washington think we could be everywhere all at once all the time. And that's not true. Like, if you believe in scarcity, we have to make decisions. What are in the core interests of the United States of America? Clearly, the 21st century is going to be defined by who wins this great competition, us or China. So Europe has to step up in a much more meaningful way. So President Trump having that conversation with European leaders in 2017 and 2018, very different than the reception he got today, which I think is telling, and why the election was so important in 2024. It cements the status. He's a real leader. And I think I actually went to Munich, the security conference. I had never been. I went this February. J.D. Vance was over there too, and of course delivered that really important speech about free speech. And I went over there to tell him not what these Europeans wanted to hear, but the truth, which is you need to step up. Like, this dynamic that existed after World War II, where we kind of had an umbrella of security, we had these ridiculous trade deals, all of that was to make sure that they could, stave off Soviet communism. Well, after the Cold War, we never really adjusted. And now is the time for that kind of adjustment from a foreign policy perspective. Sort of the globalists had their time. And then also on the trade side, which is why, it's so important what President Trump's trying to do to rebalance the equation on trade too. So I'm just really optimistic. Now, the proof will be in the pudding, Steve, as you know. They've made sort of these great flowery speeches before. Their 5% number, it can't be for pensions. Like, pensions and percentage of GDP don't win wars. Munitions do, bullets do. And the problem, of course, Europe has is they have an atrophied, defense industry, and the deindustrialization that even Germany now is experiencing. They got a lot of problems. But at least this is positive momentum, and it's really all because of President Trump.
They're hectoring President Trump about the different intelligence reports, and of course he says, "Hey, look, it's total obliteration, and we did our job. The 12-day war is over. I'm getting back on a plane. I got other problems. I'm trying to deal with the Ukraine situation." What are your thoughts on the 12-day war and where we stand right now? He said, "Hey, look, the Iranians may come in next week. I may meet with the Persians. I don't know if I'm going to sign anything." What's your sense, and what's the folks in Missouri's sense of all this?
Well, I tell you, we were in this kind of Ukraine debate, a year and a half ago, like more money for Ukraine. And I would say on the Senate floor, speaking out against the additional money, was there's literally been no person in Missouri who's ever come up to me and said, "You know what, Eric, we want you to go fight for another $60 or $80 billion for Ukraine." This just never came up. Ironically, securing their border while we had a wide open southern border. So now, I think that, again, this sort of realism view is kind of taking hold. And I think what President Trump, the most important thing, Steve, that happened, I think, in the last week, and I talked to President Trump to thank him, because I was talking to him. I didn't want to get us dragged into some long, protracted conflict in the Middle East. The American people don't want that. Missourians don't want that. Now, a targeted, overwhelming Jacksonian sort of show force on a key strategic core national interest of the United States, that's one thing. But I think his ability and the restraint that he showed in pivoting to peace and a ceasefire was really important, because trust me, there were plenty of people in this town who were wanting him to be, more engaged and have more involvement and pull us in. And I think if we learned anything from the last 30 years, which I hope we have, is that that's just not our role. We can't be the cop on the beat around the world. We've got a lot of problems here that we need to address.
And I want to show you this because, again, too, when you look at the facts, when you look at the evidence, if you appreciate what I'm about to show you guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. This is a video. Look at the top. This is Biden's border, okay? Look at the thousands and thousands of people that are coming through unvetted, unknown, no idea what's coming in. That's why there's sleeper cells. That's why there's terrorists that have come into our country. But then look at the bottom, guys. Nothing, nobody, same border, same fence line. Guess what? Nothing is happening. And this is because of Trump's team. With this big win right here, Pam Bondi, Trump are suing, and you're about to hear her testimony in Congress with Senator John Kennedy over what they're doing to hold all these crazy states accountable that keep trying to stop, pause deportations of illegals, giving illegals our hard-earned money. You're about to hear it, guys, from their voices themselves, and that's what I love, is that we bring you exactly from the people who said it. I want to say thank you so much, Fred Samuel, for the super chat, brother. Thank you so much for showing some love. He said, good, now we're getting smart free guards in place to put them. I love it. Jeff Proffreyman, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. He said, Joel, you're amazing in putting all these points across and keeping the family up to date. Always, brother, always. I love it. And thank you so much, Victor Basil, who said, great job, super energy, not others, lame and slow, right to the point. Love it. Let's go. Y'all show Victor some love in the chat, guys. You're gonna really appreciate this, because we're seeing another side of Bondi. They're finally doing something about it, putting America first and getting things done. Listen to this.
Senator Kennedy. Thank you, Mr. Chairman General. When you took over the Department of Justice and started going through all of the grants under your predecessor, did you find any that, in your opinion, constituted a waste of taxpayer money?
Yes, Senator. I don't have those specifically in front of me, but yes, Senator, there were many, and we are now going through those grants one by one. We are going through each of those grants because at the Department of Justice, we have a very obviously unique function in public safety. I will never let a grant be cut that's hurting women, victims of sexual assault, children, law enforcement officers. So we will look at those, each grant individually, to see what is fluff, what is DEI, no longer at the Department of Justice, and what are viable grants. And that money will go where it should go, to protect victims of crime and our law enforcement officers.
That's your job, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. And you're doing that because it's your job.
Yes,
right?
Senator.
Okay. Some people say that you're being overly mean and unfair to foreign nationals who are in our country illegally. Would you care to address that?
I don't think I've been called mean recently, but
No, you've been called worse.
I think I was going to say probably a lot worse.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we will do everything in our power to get the illegal aliens out of our country who are committing crimes in our country. I have met with way too many family members who are parents, mothers, whose children have been murdered and raped by illegal aliens in our country. If that's mean, then I want to be as mean as I can be.
I mean,
because we're going to get them out of our country and we're going to protect Americans.
Let's go.
We can agree, can we not, that legal immigration is legal,
Absolutely.
okay? And we can agree, can we not, that illegal immigration is illegal,
Yes, Senator.
okay? If you don't like the statutes with respect to illegal immigration, you can change them. But if you enforce them, as Congress has directed you to do, you're not being mean, you're just doing your job, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes, Senator.
Okay. When you prosecute someone who's in our country illegally, not necessarily for a criminal matter, but just to enforce our immigration laws, are you careful to afford them due process?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. And would you consider that to be one of your one of your priorities in terms of enforcing the laws against illegal foreign nationals?
Yes, Senator, I've been in a courtroom my entire career.
Sorry, guys, we just got some breaking news that just came from Representative James Comer, signed, sealed, delivered, baby. Anthony Bernal, who refused to come and testify about Biden's decline. This was basically Jill Biden's work husband, has now just been subpoenaed with a clear message to come and testify under oath about the truth about Joe Biden's decline and the unauthorized use of the auto pin. Guys, let me pull this over because this is huge. We bring the receipts. We're always showing you the breaking news as it's happening. This is from James Comer himself, guys, right here. Oh, I love this stuff. Representative James Comer, who is the chairman over the House Oversight Committee, signed, sealed, delivered. Jill Biden's work husband, Anthony Bernal, must appear before the GOP Oversight Committee. He has officially been subpoenaed. Here is the actual documents, guys. Let's go, baby. We are getting people. You're either going to come and testify and tell us the truth, or you're going to come under a subpoena. And if you don't come under the subpoena, your butt's going to jail, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
And due process will be afforded.
Okay.
And the laws of this country will be enforced.
Could it be that some of the people who are criticizing you simply think that illegal immigration shouldn't be illegal?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But we will protect Americans. We will protect American families. We will protect these mothers of lost children who are murdered by illegal aliens. We will protect the widow of the trooper who was run down by an illegal alien and left a baby at home.
Let me stop you a second, General. I'm going to run out of time. Could it be that some of the people who are criticizing you, saying you're mean and otherwise for enforcing the law, believe that that the border, we should have open borders. They believe that anyone should be able to come into and out of the United States whenever they want to. Could that be the motivation for that?
It could be, Senator.
Could it be that some of the people who are opposed to you think that by just allowing everybody to come into our country who wants to could help them in terms of winning elections? Could that be part of their motivation?
Well, Donald Trump won by an overwhelming majority. He won the electoral and the popular vote by an overwhelming majority, and he made it crystal clear to all Americans that he was going to close our borders and keep Americans safe. So they're running on the wrong platform.
That's what the law requires, right?
That's the law.
And you're just enforcing the law, is that right?
Absolutely.
Woo!
Thanks,
I will continue to.
Let's go, baby. And you know what else is happening, guys? We're enforcing the law even more. The DOJ is working with the Congress and Act Blue officials. These are the senior executives that literally, as soon as Trump got into office, guys, they hightailed it out. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and find that for you because I have it over here. Act Blue official executives. As soon as Trump got and won the presidency, before he came in, look at this. These have to come before Congress, and they have to testify under oath over the widespread fraud on the Dems fundraising platform. Why? Because this platform has been taking money from foreign entities interfering in our election. Guys, we bring the receipts. Look at this right here. As soon as Trump won the presidency, well, guess what? Top Act Blue executives were leaving in droves. 7 top Act Blue executives suddenly resigned. They were getting money from USAID. They were using it to interfere into our elections. They were paying people off, guys, and we're finally holding them accountable. Your boy is bringing the receipts. The DOJ is working with Congress to hold these people accountable. Guys, this is the justice that we voted for. This is the we the people seeing action from DOJ, Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, Congress of doing their dang job of holding these people accountable, showing them before the world the corruption that is the Democratic Party has done for God knows telling how long, and even some of the Republicans. Because I'll call out everybody, guys. I don't care who it is. If you're doing wrong, I'm calling you out. And that's why what you're about to see next is so important, guys. Listen to this.
The House and Senate versions of the reconciliation bill, you've probably heard my take on this. In my opinion, they've abandoned all fiscal sanity. We will never see those proposed spending cuts. Why? Because a future Congress just going to change it all. We've seen it happen before, Congressman. You know that.
Yeah.
You chair Judiciary. And the Senate just stripped out a provision to stop these rogue judges from issuing nationwide injunctions, unconstitutional nationwide injunctions. Now we're told to wait until the budget is passed. And that's when we're going to see fiscal discipline return to Washington. But you know, Congress hasn't passed a budget in 28 years. In short, Congress refuses to live within its means. Isn't it true that Americans can no longer afford Congress?
Nope.
Well,
and guys, before he gets into it, I just want to show you something else that just broke. I'm sorry, guys. I know there's a lot of interruptions, but I'm telling you, this is what we voted for. DOJ, Pam Bondi, is now suing Minnesota, Tim Walsh, for giving illegal immigrants tuition perks over U.S. citizens. They're going, now that they've won this huge court ruling, they're going after every state, every governor, every sanctuary city. If you are giving taxpayer funds from the federal government to illegal non-citizens, the DOJ is suing your butt. Guys, that's where this comes from right here. All this has just happened today. We're finally getting, the lawsuits are happening. We're finally putting into action what we've been waiting for so long, because Americans have been getting ripped off of our own tax dollars to give to illegals so the Democrats can win elections. It stops today, baby. Listen to this.
You're right. Our fiscal situation is not where we want it. The debt, the deficits we're running on an annual basis, the debt that keeps piling up.
Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support.
Not where we want it. But step one into beginning to deal with all this is to get the economy growing like we know it can. And in order to make sure we have some of this real growth, accelerated growth, and longer term growth, you got to make sure you don't raise people's taxes. You got to make sure you get those key tax cut provisions in place permanently for many of the pro-business ones. So that to me is the central focus of this bill. And again, Chris, if you pulled out any one single element of this reconciliation bill, are you for cutting taxes? Yeah. Are you for cutting, having no tax on tips? Yeah. Are you for making sure resources are there to make sure the border stays secure? Yeah. Are you for giving parents choices where their kids go to school, putting that as part of the tax code? Yeah. Are you for making sure that able-bodied adults in our welfare system who are getting your money are going to have to go work? Yeah. So any one of those bills by themselves, Republicans, conservatives, you would vote for, Chris. But somehow when you put them all together, you're not going to vote for that package because it doesn't do enough on the spending reduction side. I wish we were cutting more spending. But in the end, if you get all those good elements together that we'd vote for if there were single bills, I think this is a pretty good bill. And the main reason you know it's a good bill is because the Democrats hate it. The left hates the bill. So that's the number one criteria. You know it's pretty darn good when the left doesn't like it. So let's hope we get it passed. I'm with you. I wish we were cutting more spending, but I still think in the end, what we're accomplishing on school choice, on work requirements, on tax cuts, on border security, pretty darn good.
There's a meme floating around on social media. I don't know if you've seen it. It is after the bombing. It says that a judge has banged the gavel and commanded President Trump to go rebuild Iran's nuclear program. It's a joke, but it goes to what you and I were just discussing. And you, as I said, you sit on Judiciary. The idea that some Senate Republican decided to strip out this language that would have put restrictions on these rogue, unconstitutional judges. I'm sorry, Congressman, that's unconscionable, and you can't blame it on Democrats.
And it may not even be a United States senator. It may be the parliamentarian. Sometimes it's the parliamentarian under these sort of arcane rules that exist in the Senate is saying, oh, that's not budget relative enough. It's too policy driven. And you're like, well, wait a minute, that person was never elected to anything. That person never had their name on a ballot. So it could be some of that too, because we're hearing some of this stuff is getting pulled out in the so-called Byrd process, the Byrd rules that exist. And so it could be some of that, because we had a provision in there like money, certain grants can't go to cities that are sanctuary jurisdictions. That got pulled out too. My understanding is that was driven largely by the parliamentarians. So there are things that we...
Guys, and what he's talking about when it comes to the parliamentarian is right here. So the Senate parliamentarian, which, just for context, guys, Senator John Thun, who's a Republican leader of the Senate, can 100% fire her, Elizabeth McDonough. But she has blocked provisions in the big beautiful bill to restrict Medicaid funds for illegal aliens. She's blocked the rules that would prohibit federal funds from going to sanctuary cities or states. This right here is being allowed to happen. This is why I say Mike Johnson, Senator John Thun, are these rhinos, are they truly America first? Because they're allowing this to happen. They can replace these people because these are not elected. These people can be replaced with another person in the Senate. Let me know your thoughts on Senator John Thun, guys, because I'm telling you, they're allowing all this stuff to be given to illegal aliens. Surgical Wizard, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. He said Los Angeles City Mayor wants the residents to help her scrub graffiti off the buildings and streets. She got a $5 million loan to help pay for the police, and she blames Trump. Guys, it is a joke what we are seeing now and what you're about to see next, guys, because the lawfare is still continuing to try to go against Trump, but he is winning big time. Y'all show Surgical Wizard some love in the chat.
Put in the judiciary side that we thought made good sense. We also we're concerned about, are they going to start taking some of the fees away we had? If you come here as applying for a visa, we think you should pay a fee. And we took the sort of fundamental position, our border security, why not have people who are coming here on visas finance and pay for our border security, for judges, for the wall, for the things that we're doing, detention space,
Party's over.
ICE agents, all those things. Why not have the visa applicants pay for that? Now, we're working through that process. We hope that the Senate doesn't take out some of those fees that we put in the legislation as well.
Okay.
Guys, you see that, guys? Again, it goes back to who was controlling it. Before this bill even gets to be voted on, people are changing it up. They're rewriting the entire bill. I'm telling you, this is huge. Liberal Wisconsin Supreme Court decides not to redraw the congressional map ahead of the 2026 midterms to benefit Democrats. Guys, they are trying hard you're fighting tooth and nail to try and redraw things. Thank God that we have Supreme Courts that actually have common sense on seeing what the Democrats are trying to do. And again, too, when it comes to the lawfare, guys, we are bringing the receipts. There is so much that is happening behind the scenes. This stuff you're not going to see on mainstream media of what is affecting your life. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Listen to this.
China and the left's lawfare against American energy dominance. We're witnessing right now a systematic campaign against American energy. There is a coordinated assault by the radical left, backed and paid for by the Chinese Communist Party, to seize control of our courts, to weaponize litigation against U.S. energy producers, all in order to undermine American energy dominance. At stake is a lot more than an industry. Our energy sector is the engine of American prosperity, the lifeblood of our industrial power, our national security, and our geopolitical leverage. If American energy is under attack, so is American security and American independence. The campaign against American energy is a three-pronged assault. First, foreign money from entities tied to the Chinese Communist Party flows into the United States to bankroll climate advocacy groups who litigate against American energy. Second, activist lawyers flood our courts with lawsuits designed not to win policy debates, but to bankrupt energy producers and to dismantle energy infrastructure through sheer attrition. And third, the judiciary itself is being quietly captured and brainwashed as left-wing nonprofits host closed-door trainings that indoctrinate judges to adopt the ideological goals of the climate lawfare machine. The first prong of this coordinated campaign is a strategic alliance, a cozy financial partnership between leftist billionaires, radical environmental organizations, and the Chinese Communist Party.
Right here, guys. And I want to show you this because, again, too, the way that the CCP has been giving money to Democrats to control American elections is through the Act Blue organization, allegedly. Act Blue officials must face Congress as the House and the DOJ, the Department of Justice, probe widespread fraud on the Dem fundraising platform. There's been reports of money that has come through in random people's names, guys, affecting our elections, giving to the Democratic Party, and these people are finally about to answer for it. Nobody outside the United States is supposed to be able to donate to our elections, but this has been happening under the radar. How do you think that the Democrats were literally able to spend 2 times as much, $2 billion on Kamala Harris versus what was spent on Trump? And you know, guys, MAGA people, they support Trump, but yet they had twice as much money and they still lost. And that's why what you're seeing right here is the most important thing. What you just heard Cruz say was that the federal judges have been infiltrated and they are controlled by the foreign entities. Listen to this. General Pam Bondi has taken the rare step of suing all 15 federal district judges in Maryland. This is the first state. Why? Because they have been automatically trying to pause deportations when illegal aliens file habeas corpus petitions to challenge their detention. So no more, guys. Trump, Pam Bondi, they've got the ruling from another federal judge. They can fully, officially sue all these states, all the federal judges for using and abusing their powers in their judiciary seats. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Want to say thank you so much, Nyla Potter, for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Let's go. Y'all show Nyla some love in the chat if you got a free membership from her. Thank you so much for helping us grow our family. Listen to this, guys, because I'm telling you, we have all the receipts and all the evidence.
One of the primary vehicles for this alliance is Energy Foundation China, which has funneled upwards of $12 million to U.S.-based climate advocacy groups since 2020. And this money isn't going to tree planting campaigns or to science fairs. It's flowing directly to aggressive litigation outfits like the Natural Resources Defense Council, the Rocky Mountain Institute, and the World Resources Institute, organizations that routinely file lawsuits trying to block pipelines, trying to ban gas-powered vehicles, and trying to bankrupt oil and gas companies. On paper, Energy Foundation China's goals may sound benign. Support for clean coal, electric vehicles, and global decarbonization. But that raises the obvious question. If this is truly about reducing emissions, why isn't China investing that money in reducing its own pollution? China is the number one polluter on planet Earth. Communist China emits more carbon than the United States and Europe combined. The answer is simple. Because this is not about climate. It is about global energy dominance and control. And it gets worse. The man at the helm of Energy Foundation China, Xi Zhao, is not a neutral administrator. He is a former senior official in China's National Development and Reform Commission,
God.
The agency responsible for writing the CCP's 5-year plans, coordinating industrial expansion, and steering national energy policy. Between 2000 and 2009, and again from 2012 to 2015, Professor Zhu served as a key member of China's official climate negotiation team, including during the run-up to the Paris Agreement.
Guys, and if you didn't catch that, China's the #1 polluter in all the world. Yet they're sending millions and millions of dollars to the U.S. to pay for lawsuits to fight against American companies that are trying to do certain things. And I got to show you this because, again, dude, this is just mind-blowing, the amount of breaking news we're getting today, guys. Harvard has just been subpoenaed. Representative Jim Jordan has just subpoenaed Harvard over their Ivy League tuition practices. Meaning, in the past 4 years, China has given, and the other foreign entities has given $151 million to Harvard. Harvard, a third of their students come from overseas. They have been discriminatory towards American citizens. The money, guys, follow the money, and now they've officially been subpoenaed, guys. Has there not been an insane amount of investigations, lawsuits, subpoenas that we have showed you today, guys? This is massive. This is like a day of subpoenas. Because again, too, I just showed you this earlier. Representative Comer subpoenas Biden aide in the oversight probe over Biden's mental decline. This is massive, massive exposure of all what is happening, guys. And what you're about to see next, it just shows you we have to put America first. Listen to this.
To an entire sector of the American economy. Over 30 lawsuits have been filed in at least 15 Democrat-run jurisdictions, including by 12 states, targeting oil producers and gas producers and coal producers. Climate lawfare activists have infiltrated American cities and states, convincing them to sue American energy companies. Over 24 pending suits brought by our own state and local governments, manipulated by the Chinese Communist government and funded by left-wing groups. And all of them together are crippling American energy.
God.
These lawsuits use creative theories like public nuisance, climate superfund, consumer protection, but their objective is clear: cripple the fossil fuel industry through legal attrition. And the damages are staggering. One suit seeks $1.15 billion. Another demands $3.5 billion. The days of Dr. Evil demanding $1 million are long behind us. These are not good faith disputes. These are weapons.
Guys, and just for context, in China, they account for 28% of the global emissions. Over 10 billion metric tons of CO2, whatever they call that, we know what it is, but that's what they say is the pollution. The United States is half that. Yet they're sending money over to our country and then funding lawyers to sue our American energy companies for billions of dollars to stop them from producing energy here in the United States. This is asinine. It's just insane that this is allowed in our United States, that other countries can fund lawsuits against our own American energy companies to literally bankrupt them, guys. This is the truth of what's happening behind the scenes, guys. Thank you so much, Andy, for the super chat. Let's go. He said, Justin, NATO launches a massive escalation in Ukraine-Russia war by crossing Putin's red line. Well, thank you so much, Andy, brother, for the super chat. Guys, because I'm telling you, it gets even crazier.
Just in fiscal year 2023, the leading climate lawfare groups, not even all of them, just the leading groups, raked in close to $500 million from U.S. energy companies.
Wow.
That's $500 million stripped from our energy independence. Driving these lawsuits is Shear Edling LLP, a private plaintiffs firm that has filed more than 24 suits. They're not paid by their clients. They're bankrolled by dark money empires like the New Venture Fund and the Tides Foundation, groups that launder anonymous donations into political litigation.
Guys, and I'm telling you, it's not just the people overseas. I have to show you this because it's so powerful. Listen to this. You want to know how much the deep state is in our country? Listen to what you're about to hear next. These are Democrats that you wouldn't even think, if you just read their words, if you didn't even know who they were, you would think that they were for another country or for the CCP. Listen to this.
And you're trying to play a gotcha question at a budget hearing when you have murders left and right in your state.
This solicitation of investments in his personal product, his meme coin, led to many people who were coming from foreign countries attending that dinner. Don't you think the American people have a right to know? And you said yourself, you're very concerned about foreign influence on our government.
Senator, it is wildly offensive that you would accuse President Trump of not protecting American interest in our country when he is the president that has shut down our borders, unlike Joe Biden. President Trump has done everything to make America safe, and you asked me to question and keep America safe.
Do you
and
know?
You're trying to play a gotcha question at a budget hearing when you have murders left and right in your state, violent crimes, and we are doing everything we can to help your liberal state, whether you're liberal or not. We're going to do everything we can to help the citizens of your state, and you're trying to avoid that because you're trying to play a gotcha question with the President of the United States, and it's not going to work. We're here to talk about our budget for public safety.
Guys, I'm telling you, I'm seeing a different side to Pam Bondi, guys. This is good stuff. I love it. We're seeing a different side. We voted for this. We wanted this. This is promises made, promises kept of holding people accountable. Bondi is going off on everybody right now, and this is huge. Suing now every single federal judge in Maryland over their deportation pauses, giving money and allowing money to be given to illegal non-citizens, guys. This is what we voted for. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Fred Samuel, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. He said, call your senator and congressman and representative and demand they put America first. I love it. Sassy Madeline, thank you so much for the super chat. Y'all show Sassy Madeline and Fred some love in the chat. Guys, want to say if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family so that we can serve you every day with the top news. We are living in history right now. So much breaking news is happening, and we are here for it. Guys, you know that we want to build you the best show every single day to get the most value over what's happening so that you're fully informed. Things are changing for the better, and I'm so thankful for everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers and members and viewers. Y'all are amazing. Want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel, guys, and just know that we are truly grateful that every single month we are giving more because of your support. We partner with you to give to these local charities, and we're going to be giving to a local children's home in the next month of July because, again, too, these kids didn't do anything wrong. They didn't break any laws. These are innocent kids, and they don't have anybody, and we want to be there for them, and we want to help them out. So when you give a super chat donation or you're a member, we use this money and we give to these local charities live on stream so that it's fully transparent, that you know that we are making a difference. I want to say thank you to everybody who supports. I want to give some special love to those that have given today in the chat. B1 Sly One, thank you so much. Lay Lewis, Gregosaurus Galoris, Andy, Fred Samuel, thank you so much. Andy, who said, why can't she say who directed her to do this treason? She better spill the beans before the accident happens. 100%. Thank you so much, Jeff Poffreeman, Victor Basil, B1 Sly One, Surgical Wizard, Nyla Potter for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Thank you so much, Sassy Madeline, Andy, Gregory Hayes for Congress. Let's go. Joe, keep up the greatest work. America first, baby. I love it. Y'all show them some love in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for liking and sharing our videos. Guys, this is exciting times that we're living in, and I'm excited to bring you the truth. We love you. Thank you. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.